Good night, everyone. It's Wednesday, July 15th, and we are back with our material from English Line Down. And please don't forget to review 6 previous days' material. We're discussing today the difference between in prison and in the prison. The phrase he is in prison means that he is confined in a prison somewhere. His actual physical location is not important. This phrase indicates his status as a prisoner. Examples: he spent 2 years in prison. He was in prison for selling drugs. He was sentenced to life in prison. The phrase he is in prison refers to his physical presence in a specific prison complex. The speaker may be standing inside or in front of the prison. He means that someone is inside the prison right now, possibly on business or as a visitor. Examples: they play different roles in the prison system. I met her in the prison with her 2-year-old daughter. Scrolling back up to day 31, here we discussed last time, back in June, the difference between to hospital and to the hospital. So whether to say there before hospital is a well-established but mysterious difference between British and American English. People in the UK say they go to hospital, and people in the US say they go to hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason of why we use the word there here. It's rarely added for similar terms. We also use to hospital when we need to go to a hospital with a health problem. Sorry about that. With a health problem. We also use to the hospital when we visit a hospitalized person. Examples: he died after being taken to hospital in critical condition. I have to be sober when I go to hospital tomorrow. The man had gone into a coma after drinking a bottle of vodka, and he'd been taken to hospital in an ambulance. Certain products like immunoglobulins are delivered directly by the manufacturer to the hospital or other healthcare settings. Take him to hospital. Take him to the hospital. He had a nervous breakdown. We went to the hospital in Jackson. Correction. He had a nervous breakdown when the hospital in Jackson, dove out of the 12th floor the 3rd or 4th day and killed himself. Day 29:30. That's a really long one. So the question or the issue in question here is how to say what's the difference between in hospital or in the hospital. So the same story, whether to use there before hospital, is a well-established but mysterious difference between British and American English. The people in the UK say they are in hospital. The people in the US say they are in the hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason why we use the word there here. It's rarely added for similar terms. For example, if you were attending college, you wouldn't say you were in the college. You would say you were in college. And if you had ended up on the wrong side of the law, you wouldn't say you were in the prison. You would say you were in prison. There are certain instances when you would use the word there though. When we leave off there, we are indicating that we have a certain ongoing relationship with these institutions. We are a student at college, for example, or an inmate in prison. Since people in Britain and America have different healthcare systems, maybe the British feel that they have more of a relationship with their hospitals than we do in America. But that's just a wild guess. We do sometimes use the word there with similar words like college or prison, though. When we do, we're usually saying something different. We're specifying a place. For example, we could say that we're visiting the college Imam attended, or that the electricity was out in the prison nearby. To wrap up, in a hospital versus in the hospital are original difference between UK and US English. There is no established reason these differences developed, at least none that we can pinpoint for sure. Examples: your spouse is in hospital after a suicide attempt. The person in question lost consciousness in the course of the police action and died 3 days later in hospital. There are various methods of tubal ligation. Uh, all are done in hospital under local uh, or general anesthetic. Local or general anesthetic. Over 100 magnetic door contacts operate in the hospital. Will I have to spend the night in the hospital to receive the treatment? Going back to days 27, 28. And here we talked about actually 28. At the hospital or at the hospital. At hospital, at the hospital. At hospital is usually used with verbs that require a preposition, the preposition at, after them, such as arrive at or stay at. We can arrive, stay, be, etc. at hospital as a patient or worker of a hospital. Examples: John arrived at hospital at 10 p.m. She works in hospital. The patient stayed at the hospital overnight. At the hospital is very often used with the same meaning as at hospital. However, it is also utilized when speaking about visitors or things that are at the hospital. Examples: he is at the hospital visiting his aunt. They have some great modern facilities at the hospital. We went to get care at the hospital. And when you arrived at the hospital, what was the prognosis that they gave you about the recovery? I know a good doctor at the hospital. Moving back to day 27. So days 26, 27. Add in on to work. Add in on to the work. Continuation. So at the work is particularly used in expressions such as at the workplace. Look at the work of the designer. Look at the work I've done. You are good at the work that you do. Example: Mom, look at the work I've done. In the work is normally used in situations such as I found some mistakes in the work that you did. We believe in the work that you're doing. I'm always busy in the workplace. Uh, Examples: excellent job, Mike. I haven't found any mistakes in the work you've done. Next thing, to the work is usually utilized in phrases such as he's committed to the work he's doing. They're returning to the work they started yesterday tomorrow. What was the critic's response to the work you created? Examples: he is successful because he is committed to the work he is doing. On the work. It's usually utilized in phrases such as what's your opinion on the work that you see John doing? I'd like to comment the three of you ladies on the work that you're doing. Correction. I'd like to commend the three of you ladies on the work that you're doing. I'd like to commend. Examples. He commended us on the work we've done. And day 24, 25. Adding one to work or adding two on the work. So it's similar to university and school. Answer. We say at work when we mean we are currently doing our job. Example. Just still at work. In work means you are involved in the work. It can be used with others similar to involved in the words. It is mainly a British usage. Example. John was always in work, right from the day he left school. She was the only one in the family to be in work. British. We used to work to say that we are on our way to work. Example. Mary usually comes to work 10 minutes early. On work is used in a work combination such as on work days, to focus on work, to spend time on work, to have an impact on work, etc. Examples. Don't focus on anything else but work. So that has been English Lying Down, day 32.